Welcome to a new video. This is the first ride on the Suzuki GSX-S1000GX, a crossover bike. The competition is Tracer 9, S1000XR and that kind of bikes. It's a 4-cylinder bike, so this is the first time I'm riding this bike. And you have multiple modes, so we're going to talk about the engine, suspension, rideability, comfort, final conclusions, my overall thoughts and feelings, and of course a little walk around. So first off, let's talk about the engine. So it's in A mode right now. That's the sport mode. It's the most sporty mode there is. It has a quick shifter up and down, which is really nice. It's a really good quick shifter. You do feel the quick shifter, you feel it shifting, but not in a bad way. It's not clunky or agricultural by any means, so that's nice. Really good. I want to take this opportunity to thank Niva, my Tore, for giving me this opportunity to ride this bike. Niva Motor is a Suzuki, Kawasaki, KTM and Moto Guzzi and Aprilia dealer. Really nice guy. So if you are looking for this bike by any chance, or another bike of one of those brands, or even second-hand bikes, and you live in a neighborhood or don't, please consider to pay them a visit, because I can highly recommend them. They're really good guys. So this is maybe a good spot to do a little walk around. Okay, no, this is not a good spot. So let's talk about comfort. I think you can ride all day on this bike. It is a really nice, comfortable position. As I said, what is also nice is that you have a really engaging position, so your legs are pretty high, but you have a really comfortable steering situation over here. So yeah, absolutely lovely. Yep, liking it. So comfort wise, I think it's really good. Rideability, I've been riding this bike for a while, and it is really flickable, but also really stable. So I think this bike is really good for long corners. It's not as flickable as a GS or something like that, or a really small bike. It has, I think, a really pretty long wheelbase, which means that long corners are good and short corners are a little bit less good, but it's not a bad thing at all. So the brakes are Brembos at the front and Nissan at the rear, which is interesting. The front does feel a little bit distant, but it's not a bad front brake. I think it's good, but you need to get used to it. So it takes a while. It has a pretty long travel before it bites, but maybe you can change that with different brake pads. In terms of tech, it has a lot of tech. It doesn't have a radar, I think, but I'm not sure. No, it doesn't have a radar, but it does have cruise control, quick shifter, TFT dash, connectivity, electronic suspension, which is pretty good. I have no complaints about the suspension at all. When I am riding this bike, I'm not thinking about suspension, so I think that's a pretty good thing. If you're not talking about or thinking about suspension, that means that suspension is working perfectly. It's not firm, it's not too firm, at least it's not how do you say that? It's not too soft. It's really nice. I have no complaints there. The windshield isn't adjustable on the fly, but you can adjust it. You can put it higher and lower. That's the thing that they could improve, but it's a minor detail. The buttons are make sense. It's not as overwhelming as a Tracer 9. It's just, yeah, it's pretty good. Absolutely no complaints there. And it's a pretty engaging ride, so it's sporty, but I can imagine that you can also do a pretty long distance travel. So talking about long distance travel, who is this bike for? I think this bike is for someone who wants to commute, wants to do long distance travel, but also wants to do track days, because I think this bike is really good on the track. It feels like a race bike underneath, and it wouldn't surprise me if this bike has the same engine as the GSX-S1000. I think that is not a weird thing to say. So we're going to do a walk around if I can find a spot, and then I will give you my final conclusions about this bike. I would really love to ride this bike some more, maybe a day or something like that, or maybe more. But my first impressions are really good. It's just as good as the Tracer 9 in my opinion. It has some quirks, but the Tracer 9 also has that, and this bike has some pluses, and the Tracer 9 also has some pluses. Sound is also good. That's a really nice 4-cylinder sound. Okay, I found a space to do a little walk around. Let's do it over here. So a little walk around. I think the front is really good looking, especially in this color with the grey and the black and the gold front fork. Really like the front fender. Should be a little bit longer to protect the radiator. I really like the fact the radiator is bent in a good way. Still need to get used to small wheels on a high bike. I do like the front. I think the front is really bad and mean looking. Yeah, nice. I like the windshield. Also, I think in black it will be even better. Very nice. Oh, sorry. Very nice hand guards. They're of course not for crushing, but more for protection. And they do a lot of protection. Nice Suzuki logo here. The engine is not pretty. It's just an engine. Also, the exhaust is not very noteworthy. But it's nice, it's hidden. I don't like the big catalyst, but yeah, every bike has that. I like the rear of this bike. I like the bend in it, the swing arm. Very nice. The back is not my favorite, but I'm sure it's prepared for cases. I don't like the tail light, but it's personal opinion. That's our looks like the gold of the rear suspension. Of course, it's chain driven. Almost every bike in this category. I wonder what kind of tires this bike has. Dunlop Sport Packs Road Sport 2. Don't know the tires, but they're not Chinese or something like that. They're pretty good, I think. I don't have any complaints. The side profile is pretty good. It's not a bad side profile at all. Let me make a picture. Yeah, I'm liking it. It's a nice bike. It's not bad at all. It's pretty weird that this subframe is silver. They should have made that black, but okay. The rear luggage rack is useful. I think it would look a lot better if it's not on there. But form over function, right? Or function over form, I'm sorry. So let's ride a little bit more and give you my final conclusions. See how it does a U-turn. As I said, pretty long wheelbase, but it's okay. Zero to 100. Okay, it's fast enough. Yeah, it's a nice engine. I really like the engine. So, okay, final conclusions. I think it's a really good bike. Of course, these are my final conclusions of my first impressions. But I think it's a really nice bike. It feels quality. It doesn't feel cheap in any way. Rideability is pretty good. The brakes, you need to get used to the brakes, especially the front. But it's okay. The engine is really nice. So if you want a 4-cylinder touring bike, I would really consider this. I think this bike is considerably cheaper than the BMW version of this, the S1000XR. A lot cheaper. Yeah, I think it's a really good bike. I keep repeating myself. A good bike, a good bike, good bike. Yeah, it's a really good bike. No problems with it. I would highly recommend to check this bike out. And if you do, go to Niva Motora, of course, because I'm sure they can give you a really good offer on your current bike or give you an offer on this bike. Say hi from me. Say that Drone Motor sent you. Yeah. Would I buy this bike myself? I'm not sure. If I want a reliable motorcycle which you can tour on, do some track days, I would definitely consider that. I'm more of the exotic kind of bikes, but I can imagine that people buy this bike a lot because it's a good bike. It will be a really good selling bike. It's comfortable, it's racy, it's sporty. The price is also okay, so I would definitely consider buying this bike or the Tracer if I'm in the market for this kind of bikes. So yeah, thanks for watching. If you have any questions about this bike, or if you want me to do a full review on this bike with testing, sound checks and that kind of stuff, please let me know. Put a comment down below. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you want to see more of this kind of content, please consider to subscribe. And I will see you in the next video. Big thanks to Niva again, and thanks for watching, guys and girls. Goodbye. If you want to see my newest video, tap here. If you want to see my recommended video for you, tap here. And if you want to subscribe, tap here. Thanks for watching. Tap here, or tap here.